Hi guys, Togy here on the Sort of Gaming channel, and welcome back to another episode of Empyrion Galactic Survival here on the StoneLegion.com multiplayer server. So last time we built ourselves an SV ship, and I have to admit, look at this. This is amazing. Just how you can see the light. See these little lines coming down? How amazing is that? How well does this engine run? Or have they done a brilliant job with the light? I mean, don't get me wrong, some of the textures could do with updates. Absolutely, the character models. I mean, I've chosen the female because it looks like a male. The male looks like a rock. But the character models could do with some updates. But those things that they've done well, they've done really well. That's just gorgeous. So we're going to leave our upside down base alone today, although we do need to pick up a few supplies. Make sure we've got some oxygen and some food. We'll take 10. Where are we going? Oxygen. Let's take some water, because I don't know why I need it, but we'll take some anyway. We'll take some oxygen. And yeah. So we're going to head off today to space. I mean, you don't build a small spaceship for nothing, right? I mean, it's not designed. This ship is not designed for atmospheric flight. I know I've got some atmospheric thrusters on here. Let's stay off of the weapons for now. But if we look, if I come up and start flying forwards, 207 minutes remaining of power, 34% use. Now if we go up to space, which is probably going to be easier if I go this way. I've been to space once before with Kane. He, oddly enough, he just flew straight up, like level and then up. I feel it's better doing it this way. I mean, I've got a lot more thrust anyway. It's got to be going faster, and there should be a point where we'll load into space. There you go. That's beautiful. It's like breaking through the atmosphere there. So there's the planet. And I really like the fact that I've built next to this lake, because even from space I can go, oh yeah, my base is over here, because I've got this huge lake to look at. Now the planet, so I've stopped moving. The planet, as you can see, is rotating. It is moving itself. Very, very, very slowly, but it is rotating. That's actually really awesome. But it does mean, like, if we go somewhere, our base won't be there. It'll probably be like the other side of the world. That's really cool that they've got that going on. So yeah, and now if we're going forwards, that 486 minutes of power. I think it was 270 something on the surface. So it does make a difference. So let's have a look at our map, see where we want to go. Let's see what these asteroids are first. So I assume this is the way to go. See some yellow there. There you go, Sathium asteroid. I haven't been on one of these. Kane flew through the asteroid belt. I haven't actually been on one of these yet, so let's see if we can land. Before we get out of our cockpit as well, must remember. Let's whoa. Keep going. Okay. Can we give me view? Oh yeah. We've kind of landed on the asteroid, sort of. So yeah, before we get out, we're going to press U, put our helmet on, otherwise we'll be dying a very quick death, and then jump out. Jetpack needs to go on. And let's see how we get on. And what I want to see is how well my oxygen and food and jetpack effectively all last, you know. How well things do, like how much mining can I do before I get into some trouble. Using the tier 2 miner, and on the planet it didn't really seem too much of a bother. Like, it's a convenient thing because it picks up the ore automatically. I can see here that actually being able to pick up the ore automatically is a very good thing. I mean, otherwise it's going to start, you see how all these rocks are just floating off slightly? You don't want your actual collection of rocks to disappear. You know, and if you just had a tier 1, I imagine they'd probably just be like, oh yeah, okay, off we go. So you'd have to like mine, maybe 2 or 3 pieces come out and you pick them up. And mine again, 2 or 3 pieces, pick them up. And you can see in the bottom left, just above my health bar, actually I'm picking up a lot of ore automatically. You know, that's huge amounts that I'd have to stop and go and grab it. So very glad I've got the tier 2. Oxygen is holding up pretty well actually. We're not going to spend the whole time mining, but I do want to get a bit of this ore. But yeah, that's some good. That is some good oxygen retention. I was a little bit worried it would be a lot faster. I've noticed that I run out of oxygen, even on the planet. You know, I seem to run out of oxygen fairly quickly. So I take my helmet off again here. Now that we're inside the ship. And so there's the planet. There's the moon. We're not going to go to the moon yet. In fact, yeah, let's take a trip to the moon first, because it looks like that's almost equal distance anyway. If I can find the moon. Where are you, moon? There you are. Wait, that's the moon. What's that over there? I wonder if that's another planet that you jump to, and it just happens to be close enough that you can see it in the distance. If I go to the map and go to the systems, so there's Omicron and Omicron's moon, they're very close to us. There's a trading outpost there as well. Interesting. Back to this one. So I don't think we can fly there in our small vessel. I think it's designed that you have to get a capital ship and use warp drive to get there. But we can fly to the moon in our small vessel. So we'll see how we transition. Again, look at that. Look at the light kind of almost being deflected. It's like a shower off of the planet. So we are absolutely coming in on the dark side of the moon. Actually, by the time we get there, the sun may come back round. And there we go. So we've transitioned into the moon, and that was nice and smooth. Oh, look at that! That's beautiful. Meteorite coming in just as we enter the moon. That's very nice. I mean, you couldn't have asked for anything better than that as a starting point for coming onto the moon. So if we go to the map now, we have already explored some of the moon, and I do want to get some of that ore that you can't get anywhere else. I haven't shown you guys, I don't believe I've shown you guys, mini drones, we don't want to be playing with them. I don't believe I've shown you guys what happens with the asteroids. They're not like normal mining. So we'll start with this one. Cobalt. Come down. Oh, and a normal cobalt deposit. Okay. There we go. So if I come out of here. Oh, see, I didn't put my helmet on. That's the problem. You've got to be very careful of that. Let's power you down. You don't need to be on and blasting away making noise. So it looks like we're actually far enough away from those drones they're not going to be a problem. But if I bring out my drill, again, you can only run with the jetpacks off. That's from a previous version. You can now run with the jetpack on. But you don't break. Like, okay, I've been hitting this for a while. There should be a little hole on this side. Hasn't made a hole. What's happening, if you look at the edge of the asteroid itself, this little asteroid that's crashed in that's made of cobalt, it's actually shrinking. You know, if you see this edge bit here, I'll move away so that we don't get the dust in the way. It's actually shrinking slowly but surely, and as it gets smaller, the shrinking accelerates and accelerates and accelerates, until eventually the whole thing just goes, you got a little tiny explosion at the end. but the whole thing pops and it disappears. And there's no damage to the ground underneath. There's nothing left. So there's no impact crater, there's nothing like that. So it means your world doesn't get damaged or messed up slowly but surely, you know. Okay, one of these asteroids, not too much trouble. Over time, if you said had 1,000 asteroids hit a planet, it would start looking pretty awful from the amount of impact craters that would have been going on. So actually it's quite nice to see they thought about that and said, yeah, we're going to have resources come down that don't destroy the world. Now I don't need to finish off that one. I don't need the cobalt. I'm after... We jump back in. This stuff over here. So there's 542 of it, which is not a lot, but it doesn't look like there's any hostiles here. So if we land nearby, whoop. And again we'll close off. I believe it's just a deposit, isn't it? Yeah, so we have to go down through the surface. I wonder if the rock here, like, is moon rock instead of regular rock. Probably not, probably still just crushed stone. I mean, rock is rock, isn't it? But we do want a bit of this neodymium deposit. 542, I think we can probably just take the whole deposit. It's not going to take anything at all to mine this up. Unless it's a very non-dense material, in which case, actually, it could be a significant amount of this, but you just don't get much for mining it. Although look at that, we're already down 5%, 6%, 7%. Yeah, this is going nice and quick. But we definitely want a fair bit of this stuff, and that's Sathium. Probably do some more mining off camera as well, because we're going to need that for more components for building our capital ship, which we're not ready to build yet. We need to convert a few things. I think we'll start off with a very small capital ship, like you can just land a small ship on it and you will have the warp drive to go to other planets, and then we'll either expand upon it over time, or more likely we'll probably replace it with a bigger one. We'll have to see what we do. Like the small ships and the hover vessels, I'm quite happy just replacing them every time. Like, take them apart, build a new one from scratch. It makes it a lot easier. But a capital ship, well, you know, that's a big investment, so we might try and do it as something that evolves over time. So you start off with something small, a bit like what we've got with our base. Started off with a very small building, small wall around it was added, a couple of turrets were added, and then suddenly I built this massive thing. But I still kept the original. Oh, another meteorite. Let's see if we can see him. I can't see it anywhere. That's a shame. That was a beautiful sight though, watching those come down. Like I say, the things that these guys have gotten right, especially on the graphics side of things, really work well. There is more work to do, but it's an alpha. What do you expect? You know, I'm expecting the beta to be really great when we get that far, and obviously the final release of the game should be amazing. But it is a great game already, even at alpha. I mean, we've been playing for quite a while already, and yeah, it has been great fun. I had a couple of issues, occasional graphical glitch, like items falling over. You know, there's a couple of gameplay mechanics that could be improved. We saw in the last episode the fridge. There's a couple of bugs with the fridge. I think that's very recent with the new patch that's occurred. But you know, overall, you know, it's a stable game. Any problems that I've come across, it's either okay, all I need to do is reset the filters, for example, with the fridge, and that's fine, or you log out, close the game, open the game again, and it's fixed. Had a couple of occasions where I've glitched into the world, like when you get out of a vehicle, you might be underneath the vehicle, inside a component of the vehicle that isn't actually within the vehicle. You can't move. Log out, log back in, you're fine, not a problem. So yeah, they're not They're not killer bugs. There are bugs, but again, it's an alpha. There's always going to be bugs. Get them reported on the forums. Get the guys to know what they are. They'll put them in the next patch for fixing. Or, you know, depends on the problem. I mean, like the fridge one, they'll probably try and fix that relatively quickly, especially the being able to eat directly from the fridge, the crafting items. Not the fridge, sorry, the food processor. But other things, they'll say, well, okay, you know, it is a problem. It's not actually stopping you playing. So we'd rather focus on more important problems that is stopping people from playing. And then we'll get bound to this one in another patch. Maybe like it would go into a full release, so the 1.7 release, rather than putting it into a hotfix, something like that. And what are we at with this? 28% left. So we're nearly done. I'm quite happy to mine this whole thing out. You know, it's only 500 odd in there. We've got enough drill charges that we can just mine ourselves back out as well. That's not a problem. I do like to clear the walls down. Make sure we're not leaving any behind or leaving too much behind. Kane and I did clear huge amounts of the like the deposits on the homeworld that we were on Makura, so that we could get the asteroids to come down. Now it appears ever since we've had the patch, it wipes quite a few settings, and unfortunately it seems to have replaced our seed, our world seed, with a completely new seed. As a result, actually the world thinks that we've mined all the resources, so that's why we've got asteroids coming down, or meteorites coming down all the time with new resources, even though, like this moon, we haven't touched it. This is the first I've touched it. I don't think Kane's really done much at all to it either. You know, when we came up here the other day, we literally flew around, explored an abandoned ship, and that was it. You know, we left it alone. We got shot at a few times as well. That was interesting. But you know, we haven't really touched it, and yet there's already meteorites coming down, and that's because the seed has been replaced, so it thinks we've taken all of the resources, even though we haven't. But that's fine. You know, it doesn't hurt. It's not doing permanent damage to the world. It's not causing us a problem. It's been interesting to see, so we're not too worried about it. In fact, it was quite nice to have, because clearing all of the this was only a 500 deposit. There was nothing here really. Clearing a 6,000-7,000 ore deposit, even with the two of us, takes some time. That takes quite a few hours of just standing there mining, doing stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's given us a lot of resources that we're going to use, so it's useful. There you go, there's another meteorite. Wondering if I'm high enough. Oh yeah. Look at that. Because there's no atmosphere, it's just a black surface. Oh, you can see the planet. I wonder if it's moving. Yeah, you can see, look at the edge. So if I put the dot on the edge, slowly but surely that planet is moving in. Oh, that's awesome. Right, let's take off. Let's have a little look around. So where are we? So we're heading sideways for some reason. Yeah, let's head down and around this way, I think, a bit. Wow, feels heavy. Feels very heavy. I wonder if I need more thrusters underneath. Directional thrusters underneath, so that I can move a bit faster. Oh, here we go. So there's a base there, something there, likely to shoot at us. So far, most of the things that we've had a look at have shot at us, and there's a lot of minigun drones. But it is good. We have agreed that we're not going to, like, Kane took a few things early on in the game, I took a few things mid-game, and we were both a bit disappointed that we didn't get to explore and fight all of them. So we've agreed that we're going to do some joint exploring of structures like this on the moon and see what's going on. See if we can take it all together. So there you go, Ghost Rider Base 2, and that's another Cobalt. We're in a drone base. Ooh, now we took on a drone. Wow, there you go. Okay, keep running. Oh, I think he managed to hit us there. Stop hitting us. Okay, I think we took a bit of damage on that one. Oh, world border. That's something else that you'll discover about this game is the poles of the planet. So this bit here, we're going into it. They've got borders around. They haven't finished with the poles, so yeah, it's still in development. I tell you what, let's leave the moon for now. We don't need to be on the moon anymore. Let's get back into space. Look at that. Now see, I can't tell if we've transitioned or not. I mean, it was being really smooth. I guess we'll get the text in the bottom right. There you go. Oh, there you go. So now we've got nebulas. Wow, he's really struggling. Okay. So, we're not moving anymore, so let's jump out. Remember to put our helmet back on. Let's see what kind of damage we took. Fortunately, it's not... Yeah, we took a couple of hits over this side. Doesn't look like it was too bad though. Doesn't look like we've lost any components, which is good because we do not want to be losing those. I think we're okay. Yeah, cool. So we did take a hit, but nothing too bad. Right, where are we? We're up here, and there we go. So we're going to want to go to Thermica Station. So that looks like that over here. So that's the moon. There's the planet. I think that's it there. Tiny little blob. Could just be an asteroid, but it stands out to me. So we're going to head for that one. So this is the station that King's taken over. We're going to use it as our base for building the capital ship. Obviously you've seen one of the biggest problems with building, if you watched the last episode, the biggest problem is you place the starter block, it falls on the ground, and then okay, yeah, you can build on top of it and outwards. We can't build underneath. So I mean, this one I ended up flipping it up upside down accidentally first, but I would have had to do it anyway to get to the bottom. And yeah, I had to build something underneath because I wanted the core in the middle of the ship, because as soon as they blow up the core, that's it, it's done. So I wanted the core in the middle, and I wanted to put the landing gears and everything on the bottom. So yeah, it's a bit of a pain building on the ground, but you know, we've done it, we've dealt with it. We flipped the ship over by like building up the terrain and getting it to knock over. That's fine with a small ship like this, and fine with a hover vehicle. That will not be fine at all if we're using a capital ship. You know, they're too big. You can't work like that. So we're going to build our capital ships over here on the station. And that's really nice. Look, Bay 1, Bay 3, so 2 and 4 I assume. So we'll look. Oh, 2 is down and 4 is up. So a couple of big turrets on the top here. Let's go into... We'll go for Bay 2. Whoa, hey, steady on. Okay. Turn you off. Jump out. Now, the station, see how I'm Like I'm just floating around. If I get onto the station itself, and I guess T. There we go. So now we should have. I jet back off. Yeah. So now we've got some gravity. So we've powered the station up. We can O2. Yeah, so refill our oxygen. We are going to need some food as well. Very nice. And I think we're okay on health. Yeah. So this is the space station. Which I don't know if you can build space stations. It'd be really nice if you could. Like, presumably you need a base starter block to do it. So there's the gravity generator. This is a pretty cool design. That one just goes out to the equivalent on the other side, and then you've got an elevator to go up and down. So let's go down first. And down again. And down here we've got big reactor, big reactor, big reactor, big reactor, and then 8 of these large fuel cells. Yeah. So plenty of fuel, plenty of power. There's the core block. What is that? Is that? It looks like a base one, although they might all look the same. So we'll have to see the power consumption. I don't know if I can access. There we go. Power consumption is pretty huge. It's 605, but there's 36 hours and 5 minutes. So there is a lot, but there's a lot of power in there, and there's more power storage elsewhere. That's why the numbers are so high. We go up again. So we come in here. We've got these advanced ones. I think these are advanced constructors. Possibly. I think they are. Ooh. I guess that's for a capital vessel. So bunch of constructors, bunch of storage. And then out on this side is fridges and food. So again, this is the bug I was talking about earlier. We spoke about it in the last one. So see how my food is down a bit. Not going to touch my food here. And I can eat that food straight from the crafting, and it's back again. So that's a bit of a bug at the moment. But you know, I'm sure the guys will fix it pretty quickly. Then out here, so this is almost like a bit of personal space. So there should be a ship above, and I assume, yeah, a ship down there. So you could park your ship down there, and then this is sort of like, you could actually design this however you wanted it to be. I don't know if these are airtight blocks. Like actually, if you had oxygen going around the station, yeah, so no oxygen. So these aren't airtight blocks, or even if they are, there's no oxygen coming into this room. It's going to be the same on the other side, so let's go up more. Here we go. So O2 and health, same on the other side. So this is the upper deck. This is number 4. And then up again. We've got a bit of unused space. So this, you could open this up and put something else here if you wanted. And then the top floor, it's almost like a command center, you know, with these consoles. These are decorative consoles. They don't do anything. You can push as many buttons as you like. It's not going to do anything. But you can see out, see what's going on, and then that's it. So it's a nice starting station. Get us going, build our CVs. I think we'll probably end up being on the CV more than anything else. Wrong side, wrong side. Here we go. So jetpack on. Let's come down and jetpack off. There we go. Okay, guys. So that was our first outing into space. We got some nice minerals. I'm going to get some more off camera. We visited the space station, and we got shot at a couple of times on the moon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.